The Earth is warming. Mankind is very likely responsible for that, and the need for action is now.
We believe that climate change and other environmental matters belong on the agenda of every company.
The investment community was never a party at the table. They just weren't there. Ceres brought them in.
Ceres is a nonprofit organization that brings together environmentalists and investors to work with companies and to push them to get to their greatest potential and perhaps beyond on sustainability issues, to set goals and to meet those goals.
Ceres has never related to the environment or to the economic sector as an us versus them proposition. Ceres has always taken the view that we are in this together, that we have our fundamental obligation is to figure out how to make our environmental aspirations support our economic performance and vice versa.
Ceres brought the issue of global warming to the New York Stock Exchange. When we first met with Marshall Carter, the chairman, he said, we don't deal with environmental issues. The New York Stock Exchange has existed for 213 years, and that's not the business we're in. And we talked about why the financial impacts on every company listed on the New York Stock Exchange were great and vast, and he said, I'm convinced. So working with the investor community and with the corporate community, defining climate and other sustainability issues as financial issues and as business issues, and then defining what an action plan ought to look like is what Ceres does. We built with the corporate community something called the Global Reporting Initiative, which we see as a gold standard for corporate reporting, and it allows companies to disclose what kind of impact they have on their communities, on workers, on the environment, and to put financial value on that. And companies don't always listen to advocates, but one group of people companies listen to is their owners. Ceres is about working with $3.7 trillion worth of institutional investors who are part of our network, who have made it clear that companies ought to act on climate change because it is the best thing for their shareholders, and they ought to act now.
When I do my investment decision-making, I want it to be based upon the facts. Ceres has been a very important interlocutor, and that is bringing together the scientists with people on Wall Street and also other corporate leaders so we can all understand what the science is and think about ways we should be responding to it.
As the Chief Investment Officer for New York City's pension funds, our 5 systems have over $100 billion in assets. Clearly, it's important, both short-term and, but more important, the long-term, to look at sustainability and sustainability issues. We think that works to a positive bottom line.
Ceres is creating the playbook for integrating the social and the technological revolutions that we need to do. What's new is that corporate America, the business sector, has to be at the forefront of this revolution. Typically, revolutions aren't led by corporate leaders, and they're not led by elected officials. They're grassroots-based, they're led by the citizenry. We don't have the time for that. We need strong leadership in the corporate sector, and Ceres is a critical partner in creating that leadership so that we can accelerate the pace of this technological and social revolution. It really can be a win-win for companies that step up to the sustainability challenge.
What we know is that if we're emitting carbon into the atmosphere, sooner or later, that's something that we're going to be charged for. It could create a liability for us. We've experienced such things in the past. And therefore, to adopt a strategy that recognizes the cost on the environment of emitting carbon and doing that sooner as opposed to later actually positions us best with the shareholders, with the investment community, and with our customers.
What we find is that those companies that are paying attention to their potential environmental liabilities, but also the potential opportunities they have to make green by being green, these companies tend to be very well governed and tend to be viewed quite favorably by shareholders.
Our investor network is a crucial and motivating factor for companies to actually change and to get on with the business of changing sooner rather than later, because their very owners are demanding it.
Ceres is like a harbor pilot guiding a corporate freighter into an unknown harbor with treacherous shoals. Ceres' record is one of integrity and transparency and straight talk. So corporate leaders know that they can trust Ceres.
Being concerned about sustainability can be about making money, can be about motivating a workforce, can be about bringing in new customers in a way that never happened before. These things go hand in hand. The economy and the environment are no longer at odds. They are one intertwined set of affairs that run to the strength of a company.